The game is ready. We're jumping into Haven. Have fun, boys. I can't wait to see how this one turns out.
Thank you so much. And also, yeah, big shout out to the guys who are in chat and watching all these games go down. We've had some pretty closely contested games, but also with G2, they have shown us that they can absolutely make these games one-sided. But after their loss to Party Pirates earlier on Haven, it's going to be whether they can make up for that. We have seen David P run riot on this map before, but it's Mixwell gets on the opener to Rhyme. I think he just caught a glimpse of him through the smoke. And now it means this spike is going to be comfortably planted on C. Turco maybe is going to catch Pith off guard. He does. So it's going to be a 4 versus 4 retake here, Hypok.
Yeah, and actually, nobody from Prodigy right now looking like they're close enough to pressure the side. Turco eventually making his way through Garage. We've got a 3-man push from defensive spawn side. And we've got 2 players set up on back plat. And that's going to be Mixwell. He's already got 1 kill on the round. And Pat as well. And you can see Ardis already coming for the flank behind now. David P going to peek into Turco, but going to lose his life there. The trades go back in the favor of G2, 3 for 2. And Pat will find himself the 2nd kill there. And that will be round 1 on the board for G2. Just one thing to note there, Dan. I absolutely love the play from Prodigy. 3 guys slow walking out B, no contact from window. They go down, they try and take some territory on the map. Unfortunately, it meant that Rhyme was kind of left out on an island. And we saw how quickly Mixwell dealt with that. But I think, honestly, that's the style that Prodigy need to embrace here on Haven. Knowing that the tempo G2 play this map at, I think that's important to note.
Yeah, they're trying to keep up with the pace of what G2 have been setting on their defensive rounds, but is it maybe going against Prodigy's comfort zone? Are they going to find themselves in a sticky situation because of it, as the 50-50 flip, or should I actually say it's a 33.3% flip of choosing which site, has not gone in their favor? They've gone for C, and the spike is very much going to be planted at A, and now we're going to see everyone swiftly move out of that site and head towards A, as we're going to try and see a eco retake, which is never easy when you've had players commit to shorties and guns like that.
No, I doubt they're going to be getting close enough to make use of those shorties, to be honest with you, Dan. There's a spy cam doing most of the work, so nobody needs to risk anything at all. You're going to get the information nice and early. Mixwell set up on graffiti, so he's actually ready for anybody daring enough to come out here. But looking like they're just going to set up a crossfire to maybe get some exits here. Actually, 1 player coming for some contact through Heaven, but yeah, maybe just going to opt for everybody to stay alive here. Oh, okay, yeah, that's not going to be the shorty range that you're looking for. They are going to find Pith down on the site, but everybody going to die to the spike. Well, everybody, I say Turco and Pora going to die to the spike.
Yeah, I like the late push and the idea of it, maybe hoping that a couple of players of G2 had pushed off the site and they might be able to catch the remaining 2 off guard and then get it defused, but it was just a little bit too late for the push, and realistically, I think they knew it wasn't going to be successful anyway. But now Prodigy will have the money to buy up. A pretty healthy total on the side of G2 as well. They've got rifles to work with, so they don't have that normal round of being all restricted to SMGs. Only Ardis with the SMG, so really a good chance for G2 to make this a 3-0 lead. They just need to be careful of the op on Lucka. Lucka has done so much with this op in previous games. Finds one, finds a second as well. They had no right to hit that second shot on Pith. Maybe the communication just not quick enough. As the rest of G2, well, they do continue to peak, and Ardis has done really well to take down Lucka there, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough to find Turco. Turco has flashes to work with, but Pat is there and says, I don't give a damn if you're going to be flashing me, sunshine. Turns away from it, gets the kill, and now the spike can be planted here on C. Or can it? There is a Cypher there, but he's been walled off. And Prodigy is just going to have to slow this one down a little bit and think about this retake while the utility just burns out.
Yeah, you can see nobody actually opting to come all the way back down C long. Both defenders going to come through from spawn side. They're going to get onto back site, and actually looking like they might peek onto David, and he's actually going to lose his life. The orbital strike gets invested, and that's a little bit sloppy from G2. Not sure about the investment of the ultimate that late on. You've got to assume that they were stacked up close enough to the spawn there, Dan. And Prodigy will put 1 on the board.
Pora is just a different beast. I'll be honest, he looks phenomenal on this Prodigy side, and whether this Prodigy side stays together after this tournament or not, I know that Prodigy is just kind of this organization that brings in players and then sends them away to where they might have their forever homes. I really like what this squad has to offer. Of course, Two players who are on ninja in pajamas at the moment. Turco and Pura, like the two Turkish guys. I mean, the Turkish community in general, we've had so many incredible players come out and show us what they're made of on Valorant. And I wonder whether they are going to be a driving force for what happens to you as Lucka gets the opener onto Pat. And just for a little bit of aim practice, we'll take down the Owl drone.
But he's baiting them in nicely there. The Owl drone tag is going to bring them all the way up sewers because they saw him fall back. You can see now Pora is going to have a really nice angle from Graffiti should they decide to push into this. You can see Artist backing up now, but David P is still sat in that corner, and Artist actually backing all the way up to spawn to pick up that spike. And this is going to be a very big 1v1 here. Lucka's actually peeking out from the archway. He takes a little look, doesn't see anything. But there are still two players over here on a site. Rhyme does find Pith elsewhere, and Pora will finally pick up David P. And that's a big 1v1 now. And actually, Mixwell going to peek onto Rhyme as he's midway through the Shrouded Step. And maybe now G2 can put something together in a 2v3 situation. 2v4, sorry. There's still 4 alive for Prodigy.
Yeah, 2v3 might have been a little bit more doable. 2v4 is very scary indeed. Turco takes down Mixwell. Artist has got one, but it's not going to be anything to give them hope in the round. 2-2. And G2's money is going to start to dwindle away now. That's Prodigy looking a little bit stronger on this defensive side. Even though the opening pick came from Mixwell. It's just the kills that followed from Prodigy to be able to hold firm. You can see their money not great now for G2, and they're going to have to just eco here, I would have thought, unless they're going to be forcing up. Mixwell with a rifle. And I wonder whether they're just putting the rifle on one player and then hoping that there's going to be enough money elsewhere to buy up for Mixwell as well.
Come around though, Lucka, I was going to say, he's put himself into a corner a little bit. Heavily relying on getting a pick there. The dark cover going to go down covering sewers, but David P, you can see on the X-ray walking up behind it. Owl drone will come up long. He's going to get some information on their whereabouts. Mixwell will find an opener onto Pora here, and Hip now kind of stuck out on his own, but he will find Mixwell, but the trade comes through from Pith, and Spike will go down.
Decent work from G2 with that push, considering the weapons they had available to them, but Mixwell with the force-up of the Phantom has proved to be vital, although Pith goes down after being hit off the site from the stunt. Rolling Thunder doing its job. Turco taking down another, and it's going to be 2 versus 2. There's going to be a Brimstone and a Sova off-site. Maybe a Molotov that's going to be available. It's a slow approach from Prodigy. The jump out of the window from Turco isn't going to work out on this occasion. Now all comes down to the Omen. And is he going to connect with the shots? He will find one, but the crossfire is decent from G2 in a big round. A Thrifty. We were questioning the force up of the Phantom, wondering how it was going to pay off, but it definitely worked.
You got 3 people running in baiting for Mixwell. Absolutely a worthwhile investment there. Again, that charge down long, Lucka put himself in a tricky situation. He had to use a cloud burst to get himself back onto site, but the entry was there nonetheless.
Who has better post-plant defense than G2, in your guys' opinion?
Not many teams. Not many teams at all. And again, we saw an example there of just how confident they are to kind of take peeks when they're in a post-plant position. They're not afraid to kind of close off angles and look for an extra kill or two.
3 members of G2 at C site, and they're going to be following the Owl drone in. Mixwell, of course, going to be the entry. Does he get the entrance frag? No, he doesn't. Rhyme has done well defending, but Pora gets caught off guard by Pith. Again, Pora just trying to rotate round and trying to be the flanker. But Rhyme, can he continue to hold this site? No, he can't. Pat Dipsy doodles around him. And now this Spike just needs to transition over towards one of the sites. As Hip just peeks through the molly. 4-2. G2 again just taking their advantage there with any poor weaponry that might be on the side of Prodigy.
But again, though, like here, they're taking a fight on 2 separate sites, or at least in a garden there, and it's just, it's chaos. I mean, how do you react to that? Obviously, the engagement over on C site baits out that rotation from A. Somebody's pushed through sewers or long, and they're not going to expect 2 people as well lurking over there in garden with the spike. It's just, I think it absolutely plays into G2's hands the way they can kind of bait out these rotations.
Prodigy are not going to have much money. Hip's at least able to do something with the Sheriff, but Mixwell is there with the 4K. He says, sure, I'd love it if you all pushed me through Central of B. As Rhyme is going to be the last remaining survivor on Prodigy. As Mixwell looks for the Eco Ace. And well, he is heading in the right direction. Rhyme's going to have to hit the shot with the Sheriff. He's going to do a little bit of a paranoia there just to give his position away, but he retreats back to C site. Spike's still not been planted, so he doesn't have to go anywhere as he runs straight into Mixwell. The dash comes out and doesn't get the spray down. It's so unfortunate. Rhyme hits the shot with the Sheriff, but the damage was already done by Mixwell with the 4.
I love the way Rhyme just played time on that. He tracked him perfectly through the air, and as soon as he hit the ground, it was a swift headshot with the Sheriff. Again, though, this is just, I keep saying it, but this is just a demonstration. G2's confidence there is like, yeah, we're not going to plant the spike. Mixwell, just go find the ace. Just go for it. It's all confidence boosting. It's all momentum building.
Prodigy could do with another round on the board to give them a little bit of that confidence and momentum that you speak of. Otherwise, G2, they might just start to get on the momentum train themselves here. 5 rounds already. Pora does get the opener onto Mixwell, though. That's always going to be a good start. And you know what? Pora just says, I've had enough of this. I'm going to start fragging out. Man definitely has the capability to do so and gets 2 onto G2, which gives Prodigy now the advantage. They have 1 extra player. So the 3 remaining from G2 are just hovering around mid and second mid at this point. Spike will be dropped just to ensure that they don't give away too much if one of them does try and go through Garage. And it is going to be Pat pushing that way. But great aggression there from Prodigy and Pura in particular, Hypot.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I said, you know, Prodigy didn't really have an answer to the aggression. That's the kind of plays they need to be making, Dan, honestly. If they want to, you know, slow the momentum, as Lucker will find 2 elsewhere with the operator doing what he does best. But definitely need to, you know, keep just knocking the momentum. Lucker will find his 3rd on the round. That will be a 3rd round for Prodigy as well. That was nearly a mouthful.
A lot better there from Prodigy, and again, it just comes down to Pura saying, like, I'm not going to allow G2 to free roam across this map and dictate as to where we're going to be rotating back and forth. Instead, I'm going to take the game to them, get up in their face.
It's when a team kind of rolls over and plays doormat, G2 are just going to absolutely punish any passive plays. If they know you're going to be, you know, holding deep in sights, they're going to take all of that ground. They're going to get front of sight control and absolutely punish you. So I definitely think it's the key. It's just whether or not Prodigy can synergize for these aggressive pushes.
Well, this time Pura not pushing out mid, but they have got a decent amount of players towards the A site, which seems to be where G2 are heading. Hunter's Fury is popped. Can it connect with anyone? Yes, Artist takes down Hip, so that's going to be the Sage taken off the server, but Lucker and Pura again just holding so successfully. Pith and David P, though, on the entrance to site have done so much damage to this hold. And David P will get the res onto Mixwell as Artist finds Rhyme elsewhere. As it's just the remaining Turco on his own on the breach to try and do a 1v4. Which is not going to be easy considering how well G2 have done post-plant so far this tournament.
No, and again, the spy cam's in a position where they're going to get this information nice and early. And there you go. That's going to absolutely terrify Turco. He falls all the way back outside A-Link. Maybe just wait for an exit frag, but not going to... I doubt G2 will give it up to me. You see, Ardis is already coming to C-Long. He's expecting this save. And then, again, it's just relentless, Dan. They want to absolutely punish everything possible.
Elsewhere, Party Parrots have taken a 1-0 lead in maps over Fabricant in the lower bracket. And that would be disappointing, I think, for Fabricant if they do go out in 4th place. I definitely expected them to get a little bit further, but Prodigy was there. The real thorn in their side in their game in the winners bracket semis. As G2 take a 6-3 lead now here. Just a few rounds left in this first half, and I mean, I'm really impressed with what I've seen from G2 throughout this entire tournament. And the fact they're playing Haven now, which is a map they lost earlier, like the boldness to choose that map and say, like, we want to practice more on it, I think is a statement in itself for them in this tournament.
Yeah, it is. I think Mixwell's demonstrating why, you know, you could argue, okay, that's a fantastic peep from Lucka early round. Again, really aggressive mid presence, but as I was saying, this is the demonstration of why you could make the argument that Mixwell's potentially, I mean, arguably the best player in Europe, but, you know, one of the best in the world right now. And G2 have put on an absolute showcase this weekend, Dan.
Well, I'm sure they'd want to get maybe at least one more round in this half to be completely happy with their attacking side, but they're down to just 4. Losing the Sage is never going to be a good situation. Again, that's where we said the downside of having David P being quite aggressive as the Sage is if he does fall early, it makes things far more difficult going into the rest of the round, but it is a comfortable push onto A site. The 2 players who are there residing are going to be pushed right back down into short. And Mixwell, can he get eyes on them here? As soon as that cyber cage goes down, he can lead one. Can't quite connect with the second, but there's just carnage unfolding in the sewer. Artist takes down Lucka. Spike has gone down and not much time for Prodigy here. As hit. Oh, what happened there? Mixwell just almost clicked off like he wasn't really expecting anything.
Yeah.
Hit walls it off. Recon Dart comes through. That will at least get him off it, but he's already got it halfway. And that's unfortunate for Artist. Just can't get through in time. Gets the 4K, but doesn't get the round. Prodigy put a 4th on the board, and Prodigy can get 5 here.
That was weird.
Gives them a chance. It was... What happened with you?
I think he went down to sewers, picked up Lucka's op, I guess in the situation where he wasn't expecting his teammate to die, and then he's in a position where he hasn't got a weapon close enough to break the wall. So Hip just gets a free defuse. That was a very strange outcome to that round.
It was Mixwell with his op, what really confused me. He was kind of watching for the peak, and then it's almost like he just didn't fire, like he didn't react. It didn't seem like him at all. They still have the advantage, and again, Prodigy now going to get aggressive down middle, but this time Artist wise to it. And when G2 do have the player advantage, they do seem to be far more successful, but I guess you could say that about most teams, really. Pora gets the information there are going to be players down long, so he instantly retreats and tries to get into more of a comfortable position to defend this one, but here comes Mixwell to ruin the day. Piff takes down Pora. 5 versus 3. Spike will not go down just yet, as Rhyme has done a little bit of damage. Now the Spike will go down in a 3 versus 4 retake that is going to be somewhat difficult, judging by where they are all pushing from. They're all pushing from a very similar angle. Lucka does have the op in heaven. If he can connect with 1, then maybe this is doable.
I don't know if you caught that, but the Cypher trap was what stopped Mixwell from getting up to heaven there, and it's you hate to see it when you just get stuck in midair. But Rhyme now trying to get some pressure behind this wall, blocking off a link, and they're going to back up. You can see Lucka already all the way back in the defensive spawn. Dark cover's going to go down. Maybe just look for an exit frag, but all of G2 going to pull back to the attacker spawn side. And there, Artist will find Lucka again, punishing that save, rotate all the way on C site.
Little update for you guys on the lower bracket. Party Parrots is currently up 1-0 on Fabricant.
Okay, that's I mean, I guess to be expected. Oh, was it expected to you, Dan? I think from the showing we had from Fabricant earlier. And again, the Parrots taking a map off G2. You got to say that they're coming out swinging.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it earlier. I said it's a bit disappointing for Fabricant because they probably would have expected to get a little bit further, and maybe it's just them now, off the back of that loss to Prodigy, not being able to pick their heads up. G2 going into this final round. Mixwell gets another one. Final round of the half, should I say, as Pat takes down Hip, and now they're going to be able to take control of this C site as well. At least Rhyme again has done some damage. I tell you what, Rhyme has done really well in at least stopping this being a bloodbath from G2 at times. Himself and Turco can try and push through the defender spawner area. Has to take down the ice first. Piff takes down Rhyme. Oh, okay. Pora and Turco make something of this, and it's going to be a 2 versus 2 at this point. David P's got the flank on. Even with a Rolling Thunder coming out, David P is going to be in prime position to win this round. Mixwell, though, he'll do it himself. He says, well, I don't really need you, David. 8-4 now to G2 in a very dominant attacking half on Haven.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, I expect the same aggression to continue for G2 on defense because we know what they're like on this map, Dan. It's they still catch me off guard. Every so often, they still catch me off guard.
Because the little one's mouth is open, dude. That's the one.
I mean, for a second there, I tried to compute what I'm actually looking at, and then I'm like, this is actually just a little bit weird. Like, if we can pop back over to that, there's just some weird facial expressions on those monkeys.
Well, whilst you think about how scared you are of the faces, we can look at how maybe Prodigy can get back into this. Not just this map, but this series. They have to match G2's aggression here. They have to do that in one of two ways. They either wait for the push from G2, or they go fast to one of the sites before G2 have time to rotate. It's going to be them moving towards A, but Ardis has already found his way into window.
Pora all the way back into spawn there, Ardis. Lucky not to lose his life there, but Pat finds Rhyme elsewhere.
As the rest of the boys will march through Garage here and towards C site, but they're going to go straight into Ardis, but Pora will win that engagement this time as he now goes through to B. And look how messy this is, everyone everywhere. Mixwell is still on this C site though. Does Turco realize? Spike goes down and Mixwell is just going to be patient. He's probably going to catch one of them off guard. It was a fake plan. But Pat comes in to save the day. Gets 3.
What?
And make it 4 against Locker. Pat is on fire right now.
That little flick, he got him straight through the sky smoke there, Dan. That was disgusting. I mean, you know, yeah, everybody can fall on sight if Pat's just going to walk in and one-tap everyone. That was clean. Pat has been playing absolutely phenomenally today.
9-4 for G2, and are Prodigy going to allow this to go to 10, or are they going to start forcing up? Just pistols in the hands of them, so they're going to take an eco round here as they very heavily march towards A. So that audio kill will already be there for the rotate on the side of G2. You can already see members of them moving from B to A, and they're going to be pushing right through Cypher traps here. And they haven't gone quick enough because all 3 members are already there, but Lucka has been able to get behind, and Pora and Lucka doing some real damage with these ghosts. And now they get such an advantage on this side, but here comes Mixwell with the judge. Does tag 1, dashes away, and he'll just reset, regroup. As he looks over, can he do any damage with the judge? Does actually hit a headshot there.
Someone watched the TSM
just to be a real nuisance. Rhyme with the ghost, though, is going to be the first point of contact. If Mixwell had another dash, then this would be absolutely terrifying. Smokes come out. Pat, though, unfortunately, is not going to do enough. And what a round that was from Prodigy.
That's a big, big win for Prodigy. Again, we did have a Phantom invested. It was on the back of Pat, who did pick up a 4-piece in the pistol round, but that is a big win. Now, do we see G2 try and counter that with some aggression? Because they're not going to be happy about that loss, Dan.
No one from Prodigy wanting the judge either. They just toss it into the corner. They say, we don't need this.
They haven't got a jet. Oh, they have actually got a jet. My mistake. Sorry. Oh, right, the jet. Best have picked up the judge.
I think they tossed it into the corner and then spat on it afterwards. They really didn't fancy it. They said, how dare you, Mixwell? Well, G2 maybe a bit taken aback after that round. Somehow Prodigy able to make it work just with pistols. As Ardis has a Phantom, though, going into this round, so he takes down Turco to start. Pat only has the Ghost to work with, but we will see Orbital Strike available for him, so that could be very influential in this particular round.
I mean, look at that, though.
As well.
Look at that on the minimap. You see how quickly, within the first 20 seconds of the round, Artist has pushed all the way through and found that kill. You can see where the red X indicates. He's gone all the way through because it's just absolutely free. Oh, Pat. Your ghost wasn't working as well this round.
Rhyme does the damage on B site just to even things up 4-4 in terms of who's alive. They make their way slowly but surely through Garage. Pura does have a position here on long as well. He's been able to get up into the cubby. And now here comes the pincer, but they walk straight into Mixwell's judge yet again. But Mixwell only able to get one, but Biff and David B will follow up with some of their own. Now it's all going to be down to Lucka. And it just seems to be counterforce and counterforce is working out now for both teams. G2 saying, all right, well, if you want to force up and you want to win a round, we'll do the same right back at you. And now they've been able to rescue an op, a couple of rifles to work with as well. And that will send Prodigy's money right back down the drain.
Yeah, and I mean, if that's what a team can do to stop you breaking their momentum, it's... I mean, how do you come back from that? If every time you win a round and you... win an eco round and straight away, you know, they force back into you and shut you down. It's got to be demoralizing.
Do you know what's also demoralizing? Walking straight into the bullet of Mixwell with an op. The rest of the team going to try and flash their way out onto A long. They don't actually peek with it. Maybe with the second one. Yes, okay, with the second one, they found two. But Mixwell takes down Rhyme. And now he wants more of this because he has the spike. He's going to be walking straight into Lucka. Both of them throw smokes down at the same time. Mixwell is getting more aggressive, though. As I say that, he says, no, I'm going to back off ever so slightly. It's still a minute left. Still plenty of time to work with. As Turco walks straight into Mixwell's op. I mean, it's an interesting peek. I'm going to be honest, he just slow peeked it. And now Mixwell wants to get even more aggressive. He does miss the knives as Lucka gets the headshot. Great shot, to be fair to him. But that is the confidence of Mixwell right now. Just wanting to finish this round off and probably finish this series off quickly.
Yep. Artist going to walk down long again. And find himself a freebie. Now 11-5. This is the worrying point. I'm going to be honest. As soon as they get over double digits, Dan, it's again, it's very easy now to be in a position where you have to have the argument. Do we want to save this one, put G2 on 12 rounds, arguably? Or do we force out here and try and actually hold them at 11 rounds? Because again, it's a tall order to say we still need 8 rounds to win, and we can't make a single mistake if they get to 12. That's a good start.
It's certainly a good start. I think with the new overtime rules in place, then I would be more okay with letting a team get to 12, but because we're still on the older overtime rules, I would be less inclined to do so. But Pat has been able to get aggressive up long again, and he's just finding headshots for fun here. Might as well just be a shooting range for him. Fifth gets one onto higher hip. Turco at least responds onto Pat, and Turco makes it 3. And Turco is a little bit of a beast, isn't he? Manages to find frags left, right, and center. And it's going to have to be an ace if he's going to win the round for Prodigy here, but it still has a very healthy total in terms of his health points. Does have Rolling Thunder to work with as well.
He does
You've
indeed.
seen him win,
And,
surely.
I mean, we have seen him win this weekend. Turco's actually going to come all the way over. He's just out of audible range of Mixwell, but as soon as he gets onto sight, I think Mixwell might just catch a step or two. He's all the way to the bottom of Heaven Stairs, but Turco now walking. Spike should go down just next to default, and if he plays this right, he's going to be able to play off the Rolling Thunder very easily, Dan. You can see, there you go. The audio cue goes over. Mixwell going to look over through a link. Meanwhile, Pith coming through, and they're going to try and stack up here. Obviously, as we know, the Rolling Thunder does break the diffuse animation. And also, he does have the aftershock. So he's got 2 ways to actually cancel out this defuse, Dan.
Well, you try and bait out the Rolling Thunder first, I think. And there we go. There's the initial bait. Mixwell's not going to be hit by it, though. So he'll now get smokes. He taps it again to try and force Turco out. Again, there's the secondary ability to try and do something. One of them stinks, but Turco can't quite get the spray down. Mixwell clutches up. 12-5 now to G2, but Turco coming so close, and fair play to him for making a round of it there.
A valiant effort. I am going to need somebody to go and get the clip. I'm assuming Mixwell streaming again today, so I'm going to need the clip of that headshot.
Well, this could be the end of the series and the end of the winners bracket final. If G2 just pick up one more, they'll be heading into the grand final, which will be a best of 5 later on. And it will mean that G2 have beaten everyone that is left in the competition. Party Parrots and Fabricant are playing in the lower bracket right now. G2 was successful against both of those. Then, of course, they beat Prodigy here. That will be their victory over them. As Lucka gets one through the wall onto Mixwell.
Baited. Nice little bait there.
Teleport behind from Rhyme. He's going to get lots of information here. But again, Pat just been able to push out and finding Pora. Hip gets David P though, and Lucka onto Ardis. So the orbital strike might come through, but they've been able to work their way onto the B site. And maybe it's not just quite over yet for Prodigy. They still have life in them yet. Just the 2 players of G2 remaining, but the retake is going to be very difficult with the areas they're coming from. Hip again through the box onto Pat. Pith has plenty of money to work with, so he can go for this one. But a 1 versus 4 as a Cypher with no utility whatsoever is going to be a difficult task.
It is indeed. You see the Shrouded step up to the top of the boxes. Ryan going to take up an even dirty position. Pith finds the headshot on his way in, though. He's not going to find a second. Hip will pick up his 3rd for the round. And a 6th round on the board for Prodigy. And I can't say that, you know, the comeback is real just yet, because they've got a long way to go. But still showing signs of life, Dan.
I mean, I want to believe, and I want to say, because I mean, I'm a big fan of this Prodigy roster, what we've seen. Like, some of the stuff they've pulled out of the bag has been incredible. But G2 clearly just head and shoulders above them at the moment. And as long as G2 can avoid that kind of first pick through a wall or something, they seem to be okay. Well, as I say that, Ardis just gets blasted through a wall by Turco. Only Shorty to work with elsewhere. And the Frenzy on the side of G2 as well. The Neural Theft will give the information so the rotate can come through now if they want, but G2 are fairly spread out. You'd imagine this should go to 12-7.
I hope so.
Maybe if they go A, they might be able to catch someone here, G2, but they're both focusing on sewers rather than A long, which means they can just waltz up A long here, take control of this site, dash into the smoke. As long as the spike isn't planted unnecessarily. Yeah, nice, like that. A little bit of a fake just to see if anyone can be baited out. For G2, this is a bit of a throwaway round, and I think they knew that. David P's got so much info, though, and he's going to get a gun. Maybe this isn't going to be a throwaway round. David P, we've seen what he can do in the tournament already. Pith maybe just needs to be the bait for him here. Certainly still doable now. They've got some weapons to work with. Mixwell also pushing onto the site. 2 players are going to be down long. Bora gets the first. Pith is going to get it halfway here. And now we can see Mixwell trying to do something with the op, but he's opting just to save. Well, they had me a little bit worried there. I thought maybe G2 were going to do something, but a decent hold from Prodigy, even under those circumstances.
And Mixwell will get himself a consolation kill as well. As holding on to the operator. And that, I mean, as soon as David P's picking up a 2-piece with a Frenzy, the round is still alive for G2. But again, grand scheme of things, I don't think it's going to be too damaging to the overall progress.
If I'm Prodigy, I'm like checking under my bed, checking behind doors to make sure David P's not in my house at night.
Yep.
Well, G2 are still undefeated in this tournament in terms of series. They have dropped a couple of maps along the way, so they haven't been unbeatable, but it looks like they should still be marching on through to the grand final. They were the favourites coming into this tournament, and I think they knew that, we knew that, the fans knew that. But we didn't quite know just how far ahead they were of the rest of the competition, but Lucka gets the opener. He doesn't spot out Ardis on Gong, though. Now we'll even things up 4-4. And taking the op off of Lucker is such an important factor because he also has been a very prominent figure on the side of Prodigy, but Mixwell gets one through the metal there. The res comes through, and David P and Mixwell there to clean up. Pora might be doing a little bit of damage himself, but it is just now going to be a 1 versus 3, and it's not going to happen. G2 will win this one 2-0.